to be on the Bowels podcast. You might be wondering, why did you just say pioneers? And you also may be wondering why me and my guest, Dave, are wearing these little baby hats. Dave, do you want to tell them why?
The Trail to Oregon.
Yay!
Presented by Rowan Lab Theater.
So the Trail to Oregon is a show that me and Dave just have the giggles. Trail to Oregon is a really special show that we're doing right now at Rowan. I'm actually in it.
Who do you play?
I play Mother. Who do you play?
I don't play anybody. I'm the director. Well, co-director of Jean Verderose, a.k.a. Sweet Jean Verderose.
Yes. I forgot, actually, that you weren't in it. I'm so sorry.
Just my presence is just so much in the show.
It is. And I just love you, Dave. You're such a dear friend to me.
Thank you.
And I want the viewers to know every little single detail. You want to go ahead and share your social security number?
Yeah, it's Can
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Leave this out.
Dave's just a little shy.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get all the personal information. But let's just start out. Want to start with something simple?
Mm-hmm.
Just like telling the viewers a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you come from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a small town boy from Glen Burnie, Maryland.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Also known as Glen Burnout, Maryland.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea of how that area is. Yeah. My dad's a farmer, so that ties into the show a little bit.
It does.
And then my mom works code enforcement for the city of Bowie. I first got into theater through summer camps. I think I was either going to become a magician or a theater artist. Because I went to like a magic summer camp before I went to the theater one.
That's
and
so
I was like,
you.
This is so fantastic. I mean, I can pull a bunny out of a hat. Are you kidding me? And then I went to the musical theater summer camp, musical artist theater in Maryland.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved it. I had a line we did Under the Sea, and I got to say a dingle hopper. When I was rehearsing it, I kept on saying a dingleberry.
What? Your star shining moment.
My star shining moment.
Well,
and,
did you end up saying Dinglehopper for the show?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay,
It was
that's
really
good.
fantastic.
Yay.
And I've been at the summer camp ever since. I work there now.
Oh my God. What do you do there? Do you direct?
I'm teaching acting this upcoming summer, but
Okay.
the previous years I've been teaching costumes.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
I did not know. I love doing this because I always learn new things about my friends. Like, I mean, I've only filmed one episode so far, but I just learned so much stuff about Lydia that like I didn't know. And now I'm just learning so much about you. I think it's so funny that you went to, and amazing that you went to like magic camp,
Mhm.
because I feel like a lot of that translates into our rehearsals and like how you run the space and just like make it so fun and playful.
Oh yeah, the number one priority is just to make this a pleasant experience for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Jean agreed on that from the top. We would rather have a mediocre product and a good process. Luckily, we have a good product.
Yes, we do. Very good product.
So yeah, we just wanted to make the space playful and also free for you guys to explore. So we wanted to curate that environment for you guys.
That's amazing.
Mhm.
And I feel that, and I know my other castmates feel that too.
Oh, good.
And I think it's also so great that it's such a small like little bunch of us too, because we've been able to just get to know each other so well and like really just create like bonds on and off the stage, because we do a lot of fun stuff, which we'll get into about like rehearsal processes and everything like that. But I want to start with like sort of where you got your start in directing and like your interest in directing. Because I know, so you came to Rowan as, I'm assuming like obviously a theater major, but what were your concentrations coming in?
Musical theater and pre-teaching.
Okay.
Going into it. Prior to Rowan, I had student-directed Chitty Chitty Bang Bang Jr. at Children's Theater of Annapolis.
Okay.
So I kind of caught the bug there. I'm like, okay, I can kind of do this. And then going throughout Rowan, taking the directing class with Lane, I'm like, oh, I enjoy this. I can really find myself connecting to this in a way that I can't necessarily do in acting right away. Like directing was more like okay, I got this. I kind of know what I'm doing. So this lab show was kind of like an further exploration of that.
Yeah.
And also, like, me and Sweet Jean wanted to do something that was fun. Originally, we were going to propose Toxic Avenger, and then time went on. We were like, we're not going to do that. So then we were like, oh, what shows do we want to do? So we were like, Trail. It makes perfect sense for Rowan. And it's just a whole lot of fun.
It is, yeah. It's truly, I think, the perfect show for the students, for the space that we have, just like for everything. And it gave, I feel like, such a good opportunity to everybody involved, cast and crew. We have like an amazing set done by Juliet, who just rocked it, like with the scene painting. If you come and see the show, like, or if you have seen the show already, we're in the middle of our run right now. It's
Juliet
fantastic.
knocked that out in like 4 days too. Not even like a full day's work.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Just the attention to detail, like, it blows my mind. Like, I can't even believe that. I was like, is that all hand painted? This looks like insane. And then just like all of the other little details of the set too, like everything, and just the props, the costumes by Mackenzie and Dakota. They just, all the little details. And I know we were talking to Lane yesterday after acting class about just all of those details and how he was saying, I appreciate all of that effort. And it's good to know that audience members are noticing that stuff and really appreciating it. And I think because the space is so small, we have about 34 seats.
Yeah, 34 and then 2 not so great seats.
You can curse on the podcast.
2 shit seats.
The shit seats. Shit. But yeah, I think like because the space is so intimate, all of that stuff can really, really be appreciated. And as it should. I mean, like if we were, at a distance or whatever, it might not be so noticeable.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm glad everyone's work is really being like appreciated. And like I've just the feedback that I've gotten and I've heard about this show is like really incredible. And you should be so proud. We should all be so proud, but especially you and Jean, because this is like basically your first time kind of doing this, right? I know you mentioned Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but
yeah, this is our first time kind of doing it, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without the support system that we had between the cast and all of our production team, because they both took our ideas and also ran with them.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody was just so freaking fantastic, and we really like Lane likes to describe directing kind of like planning like a party or like a birthday party.
That's great.
And I think that's what we ended up doing. We created a really fantastic party in the space.
It was just always so organized and everything was together, and Danielle and Maria just always did a fantastic job. Brooklyn, also backstage, Brooklyn and Emily knowing just the show, being there for the whole process, like, and even just like Ethan and Jack like backstage like cheering us on, like being so motivational. And can't forget to mention Elliot. Now we're like just shouting everyone out, but like everybody truly deserves it. Like Elliot is genuinely like the best music director I've ever had, and I had this conversation with him the other day. Like, I just love the way that Elliot teaches.
Yeah,
like,
he's fantastic. He's a natural teacher, and the way that he treats people and talks to people, it's like nobody else.
Absolutely.
I can only aspire to get up to that level. And we had Brooklyn during the process, who was able to jump in at any given point in time, was running the choreography with y'all. That was just a really awesome support system.
Yeah, it was just all like everyone plays such an important part. And I say plays because we're not done yet. Like I don't want to even like think about it like being done, but it's amazing, and I love everybody involved, but I want to know like a little bit more about you, because you're the star, obviously. So can we talk about directing class for a second? Because I know we like talked about it a little bit. Did you initially just like sort of, because you, for the pre-teaching you have to take directing?
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay, so were you, obviously you were, I'm sure, like, what were your thoughts and feelings going into the class, your expectations?
Oh, I was terrified. Because I think that by the time you hear about directing, like, the trickle-down effect from like, where you end up getting there to, like, when you're a freshman. If you're a freshman, you're just hearing, like, horror stories about directing. and about like certain professors, Lane. To be honest, but then you get there and it's like, oh no, this is actually pretty kick-ass.
Yeah,
Like this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, I mean, it's one of my favorite classes I've taken at Rowan.
Mm-hmm.
Lane is probably one of my favorite professors.
Yeah,
he works you in that class, but in like a really like satisfying way.
Yeah, he's just got such a smart brain and
Oh,
like
yeah.
just know like I personally didn't take the class, and I wish that I could have had the opportunity to take it, but I've done like a good amount of directing scenes for directing 1 and directing 2, and just like to even be like in the environment, I can see how like awesome of a class it is. And also just from taking other Lane classes, like just imagining all of what he integrates in like movement and acting into directing seems really interesting. But and you took directing too as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously you kind of like had to love it enough to like
I loved it enough. I mean,
Yeah.
there's lots of challenges when it comes to the directing class, and most of it has to do with time and
Sure.
and like whenever you're asking somebody to be in your scene, it is a favor.
Right.
Like I don't think anybody's like, yeah, this is really gonna like change the course of my career. This is like fine. I'll do Spring Awakening for Dave, and I'll use a bandana to replicate something else. You know,
right? But like, it's good experience, and it's fun to work with different directors and like feel out different styles, and just that's why I like usually do it for like my roommates or like people that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
But I've never had like bad experience working with anybody, and I guess that leads me to also sort of like, what were your biggest challenges and like maybe your most favorite parts of the class or like of directing sort of in general? Is that like a bad question?
No, that's a great question. Challenges was definitely like trying to find time that works for everybody. You learn a lot of like management skills that you have to quickly acquire, or else you're gonna drown a little bit.
Right.
And also being like, no matter what, I'm gonna put up a scene. I've put up my worst scene I ever put up was, what was it? Oh, it was for Agamemnon.
Okay. That's like early on in the semester, right?
Yeah, that's early on. Both my performers were on script. They were great, by the way. Not their fault exactly. I'll phrase it like that. And I put them in Hawaiian shirts, and I put a blanket on the ground. And like they had like a couple lines here out, and then there was just like this AI voice above it, and it was awful. It was so bad.
What were your scores? Oh God,
it was so low. And Lane just said, "You know what? You put up a scene, and I respect it. I know this isn't your best work." I was like, "Thanks, Lane."
Yeah. At least you like did it, and you pulled through, and you did the thing.
I did something. I don't know if I did the thing.
Something, yeah. Well, okay. I'm sorry to talk about bringing up this directing stuff, because I know there were many challenges and hills and valleys to kind of like, but you made it through.
Oh yeah.
Not one, but 2 directing classes. That's pretty like impressive if you ask me.
Yeah.
So I guess, how do you feel that all sort of integrates into Trail? Because I love the way you direct, personally.
I think a lot of it comes from preparation before you get into the space.
Sure.
And also, you learn a lot in directing to learn what your actors are bringing to the table. So it's like, oh, this person is bringing this character into a new direction, or this isn't what I expected from this character, but I like it. I'm going to follow the actor's impulses, which also, like, when you go throughout Rowan, as you know, it's like, oh, okay, this is just kind of like how we work, and this is how you should work.
Yeah.
From my very one-sided opinion about it.
No, but I think that's so valid, and I love the way that you integrate a lot of the work that we take from acting into the show, like really like how we did a lot of book work, and that's something I haven't experienced doing a show before. So I really appreciated that you took the time to sit down with all of us and just like have a conversation, because I think that it all stems from the psychology and from analyzing that, and I feel like the show, we have such a strong show because we really analyzed our relationships with others and just
Yeah.
our own personal, our characters, you know, like with my song, for example, just like the specificity, like I should show my script because it's
Yeah.
just so, like, every single section we broke down into different objectives and different tactics to achieve those objectives. So I really appreciated you taking that time to, like, really just sit with each and every one of us, and obviously we were able to do that too because it's such a small cast, but I think it just created something, and then, like, let us really play just like in those I can't think of the word.
Roles.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy to like get to a show like Trail and just throw everything away and just have like a silly goofy time. It's so easy to do that, but because it is so like grandiose and so goofy, it needs that grounding work in order to make it matter to the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when it matters to the audience, they're just gonna have more fun.
Yeah.
And you guys are gonna have more fun because it matters to you.
Because it doesn't feel spoofy and stupid. Like, it's such a ridiculous musical, but the fun and the I should say, like, the funniness comes from the seriousness of us. This is life or death, truly, for these characters. And, like, the more you feed into that, the more that is just hilarious to the audience, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know, because I know we kind of talked about, like, you wanted to do Toxic Avenger, but then, you know, you decided on Trail. But, like, more so why Trail and why you feel like it's important for, like, this time and why it's an important show for audiences to see.
Well, when we were pitching Trail, we were deeper into the pandemic than we are now. Obviously, COVID is still a thing, but we were definitely like deeper in. And the idea of like a family trapped together in this very like confined space, moving along in like this ever-changing environment. Everything switches every single day with the looming fear of a disease or somebody coming to snatch you up. Felt fresh to me and Sweet Jean. And then also like we saw our families in this family. Me and John both have very like similar like family relations, different story but similar relations with our family. So we both took that and we kind of ran with it for this show.
Yeah, I love that. I think that the fact that you brought realness to it, it just makes it that much more meaningful. And yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I'm glad I know that now. And see, I learned so much. This is such a fun learning time for Lexi Lou, like, truly. Okay. I guess I sort of want to talk really quick about, like, can we talk about, like, the games and stuff we play? And, like, that one day we had like that little clowning workshop, because, like, that was really fun. And I again haven't experienced anything like that doing a show before.
Over the past year, I've gotten really into like improvisation, specifically like the improvisation that comes up from like Chicago. So that leads back to Viola Swollen, who was this brilliant like theater educator. Her son started in Second City, which was like the SNL pipeline and still is today. I went to a visit in Chicago. I got to go see a show at Second City. It was so fantastic. It was awesome. But yeah, and all of her basis for her work was theater games. And I started reading her book. I think it's just like it's a bunch of theater games in her theory. And like she even says in the book, I'm not even sure if like scripts need to leave the rehearsal space to like go home with performers ever. I'm like, that's crazy.
Wow.
Anyways, and there's just like a lot of connections between the sense of play and also like the work that we do here at Rowan, to fully explore, and a lot of the connections between viewpoints and also Viola's work. So that was kind of like the thought connection between like we need to start every single rehearsal with a game or something so you guys can feel more free in the space and also feel free when we're running scenes. And it would have been the same show without y'all's like sense of play that you guys brought, and you guys always trust each other to try new things on stage.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody's like openness and flexibility, but that wouldn't be possible without you guys setting up that type of environment for us. Because imagine if, we came in and it was all just like no funny business, like we're doing a show. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be as fun and enjoyable. And I think you setting up this fun, safe, amazing environment really goes to, really is the fact or why this show just turned out the way it turned out, because we were able to just have so much fun doing it. Yeah. I guess I just want to sort of end off asking you about your future plans and sort of what you think the world needs to see, like with our new theater generation. We're graduating. We're going into the real professional world. What kind of impact do you want to make?
Well, next year I'm getting my master's in theater education.
Yay.
Slay. And then after that, I'm not sure what the world holds for me. I know me and John are like, all right, what's next? What are we going to do together? Because, I feel like our system worked out really well for this show. So we're like, all right, what else do we want to explore? And we work super duper great together, me and Sweet Jean. So we're excited for that collaboration to continue on.
Yeah.
And then as far as like what I think people should be bringing to the world is just flexibility and understanding of each other.
Definitely.
Like that deeper empathy to continue to have and never let go of.
I agree. And I think that you and Sweet Jean work fantastic together. I've known him for like so long of my life, and we went through high school together in our theater department. And just the way that he's grown is just like very, very special for me to see. And I think it's the same for him too, because we've watched each other literally grow up and evolve as theater artists and just as people too.
And Sean loves you. I hope you know that.
I love Jean. Truly, truly love him, and like such a dear friend to me. And I feel the same way about you too. I know we've only known each other for 3 years, but when I first came to Rowan, you were so kind to me, and you're very kind to everyone. When we walk into acting, the first person to say hello, how are you doing, is always you, and you're just a very bright light to have in a room. And I hope that our paths get to cross again and we get to work with each other again, because I truly enjoyed it, and I hope that some of my viewers get to work with you too at some point, if y'all do theater. I'm sure some of you do. But yeah, I just think everything you say is great about your future and working with. It makes me really happy that you and John want to continue working together too, because I think y'all work great together and really make some magic happen. So I love it.
Thank you for having me on today.
Yes,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I'm so happy that we had such a good conversation. Is there any last words?
Get your tickets for the trail. Oh
wait.
Oh no! We're sold out.
Oh, that sucks for you. Should have gotten your tickets. It's okay. Maybe there'll be a bootleg. Oh, wait. No, I didn't say that. Slime tutorial. Trail to Oregon surfers. Slime tutorial. Subway Surfer. There's going to be a bootleg, actually, of Dave doing the whole of Trail to Oregon. Like every role.
My world's at stake is unstoppable.
It will be so good. It will be so good. Well, Dave, again, thank you so much for coming on and educating us a little bit about directing and yourself and your journey with directing. I'm very, very grateful to have you. And to our Beyond the Bows viewers, thank you. I think that was good.
I think that was great.
All right. We're done again. Cut. I did that last time, so I can't. That's not funny anymore. Did you cut it?